Megan's behavior at Invictus 2023 is raising my eyebrows again. I found four, potentially five separate instances where she marches ahead of soldiers, completely disregarding military etiquette. This isn't the first time she's ignored protocol or shifted the spotlight onto herself. In this video, we're going to break down these moments and discuss how this reflects classic narcissistic behavior. I'm then going to tie these behaviors to situations you may have experienced with a romantic partner, with family members, friends, and even in the workplace. If this sounds interesting to you, please stick around. This is going to be a good one. But before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. So let's just get right into those videos. Here we see Meghan is getting instructions, and you'll see in a minute that she puts her sunglasses in the pocket. She thinks this is the more respectful thing to do, but she doesn't realize the most respectful thing to do is not march anyways. She then looks over to the side, waving at people during her march, and she's messing with her sleeves. She's not, in my opinion, maintaining appropriate composure. At this moment, you'll see that she'll look over at the camera, she'll wink, look away, and then look back to make sure that they get their shot. Now she'll start laughing hysterically. If you look at the soldier next to her, he is serious and solemn, and she is just hilariously laughing. I don't know what could be that funny. At this moment, the veterans have received their medals. She's clapping for them, but it's very performative. At one point, she even looks over at the audience and tells them, or she tries to gesture to them, that they should clap. I'm not even talking about how inappropriate her outfit is. This is the second instance of her marching with the soldiers, completely inappropriate. This video and the following video are of Meghan marching, and I can't tell if they're from the same moment but from different angles, but you let me know what you think in the comments. In either case, this is another example of her marching with soldiers at Invictus 2023. Also, Harry looks completely miserable. This is the last instance. What is Harry doing? This is so inappropriate. I just don't even know what to say. The Invictus Games, which were founded by the Royal Foundation and included Prince Harry, are meant to celebrate and honor wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women who have overcome immense obstacles. These veterans have displayed courage and resilience, and the event is designed to be about them, not about celebrities, not about royalty, and not about public figures. When attending events like these, spouses and guests of founders should act as supporters, not centerpieces. Past royal figures, including Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, have attended similar events with dignity and respect, ensuring that the focus remains on the honorees. Meghan's behavior, however, shifts focus onto herself, which contradicts the spirit of the Invictus Games. According to my research, Meghan's behavior is so disrespectful. Military protocol dictates that civilians should not march in front of or ahead of uniformed personnel unless given an official role. In official royal or military events, even members of the royal family adhere to strict positioning rules. One of the most glaring signs of narcissistic behavior is an inability to let others have their moment. Despite being a guest at an event meant for wounded veterans, Meghan placed herself in a dominant visual position. This is similar to how she has acted at other royal and public engagements, where she ensures that she remains the focal point. She has a lack of respect for traditions and boundaries. Most spouses of dignitaries and royal members understand the assignment. They support, they blend in, they uplift others. Meghan, on the other hand, repeatedly disregards these expectations, suggesting that she sees herself as more important than the event itself. Her actions imply a sense of entitlement and self importance, as if she was leading the soldiers rather than supporting them. In narcissistic terms, this could be an example of delusions of grandeur, where she sees herself as playing a leading role in an event that isn't about her. Many on social media platforms have immediately pointed out Meghan's behavior, and they criticized her for trying to overshadow the veterans, using the event as a personal PR moment, and lacking basic awareness of military etiquette. Clearly, she hasn't learned from 2023, because just this week, she continued with that same behavior. Let's compare that to how other royals have behaved. Here in the background, I'm going to show you a couple of clips of Catherine, Princess of Wales, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, and Prince Philip, and how they behaved at these types of ceremonies and events. And remember, Prince Philip was actually in the military. Meghan has this pattern of overshadowing others on purpose. We know she announced her pregnancy at Princess Eugenie's wedding, allegedly. During her charity and public appearances, she'll talk about her own struggles and personal experiences, making the event about herself without letting the organization or the cause be the focus. This is not just a small mistake. When someone repeatedly exhibits this kind of behavior, it's a pattern. This disrespect for veterans and traditions is especially tone deaf. So let's talk about a couple of the behaviors we have seen in the video clips I presented earlier and apply them to things that you may have experienced in your own life. The first behavior we'll talk about is walking in front of soldiers, which we can think of as constantly taking over and dismissing others. In romantic relationships, it could be that your partner never lets you take credit for anything. If you achieve something, whether it's a work promotion, a weight loss milestone, or a personal accomplishment, they find a way to make it about themselves. For example, you graduate college, and instead of celebrating you, they talk about how much they sacrificed for you to succeed, making themselves the hero. In family dynamics, this could be a narcissistic parent or sibling who always steals the spotlight at important events. For example, you get married, and your narcissistic mother-in-law or sibling makes a dramatic scene, so all attention is on them. In friendships, it may be that you have a friend who always one-ups your experiences. For example, you tell them you're struggling with something, and instead of listening, they say, "Oh, that's nothing. Let me tell you about what I'm going through." And finally, in the workplace, this could be a narcissistic coworker or boss who constantly interrupts, takes credit for your ideas, or makes sure they are always getting the spotlight in meetings. For example, you put together a major presentation, and your boss takes over at the last minute and presents it as if it were their own work. The second behavior I want to talk about is Meghan's breaking of protocol and disrespecting boundaries. She ignored military etiquette and walked ahead. In romantic relationships, this may be that your partner disregards your boundaries, whether it's about personal space, finances, or emotional needs. For example, you've told them you need some alone time after work, but they constantly invade your space and demand attention. In family dynamics, this might be a narcissistic family member who pushes past rules and boundaries, expecting special treatment. An example of this could be you set a boundary with a toxic parent, saying you won't discuss your love life, but they constantly pry and criticize your choices anyways. In friendships, this could be a friend who expects you to drop everything for them, but never respects your time or boundaries in return. For example, you tell them you're busy, but they show up uninvited or guilt trip you into doing things for them. And finally, in the workplace, this could be a coworker or boss who ignores established rules and expects special treatment. For example, you follow company policies, but your boss bends the rules for themselves while holding everyone else accountable. The third behavior of Meghan's we're seeing here is a lack of awareness or respect for others' feelings. Meghan ignores that Invictus is for the veterans and not her personal showcase. In romantic relationships, this could be a partner who never acknowledges your feelings and turns every emotional conversation back on themselves. For example, you express frustration about your stressful day, and they respond by making it about how your stress negatively affects them. In family dynamics, this might be a narcissistic parent who never validates your emotions, and instead they shame you for having feelings. For example, you say you're hurt by something they said, and they reply, "Oh, stop being dramatic." You always make things about you. In friendships, this could be a friend who minimizes your problems but expects full emotional support for theirs. An example could be you confide in them about a breakup, and instead of support, they say, well, at least you had a relationship. I've been single for years. And finally, in the workplace, this could be a narcissistic boss or coworker who never considers the impact of their actions on others. For example, they volunteer you for extra work without asking, assuming that you'll just do it. The fourth behavior we're seeing here is a pattern of overshadowing others, and we know that Meghan has a history of trying to steal the spotlight. In romantic relationships, this could be that your partner always needs to be the star of the relationship. For example, when you receive praise or recognition, they suddenly create drama to bring the attention back to themselves. In family dynamics, this might be a narcissistic parent who competes with their own children for attention. For example, you announce a pregnancy and your parent immediately shares big news to overshadow you. In friendships, this could be a narcissistic friend who sabotages your happy moments. For example, you're excited about a new job and they say, oh, that's nice, but I don't think it's that impressive. And finally, in the workplace, this could be a boss or coworker who downplays your success. For example, you land a big client, but they tell the team it wasn't that hard of a deal to close. The last behavior we see of Meghan's in this situation is a lack of genuine empathy, like Meghan walking ahead of injured soldiers without considering how it looked. In romantic relationships, this could be a partner that lacks real emotional support. They say the right things, but they never follow through. For example, you're sick and they say, oh no, that's awful, but then do nothing to help or comfort you. In family dynamics, this might be a narcissistic parent or sibling who acts supportive but only on the surface. For example, you're going through a tough time and they say, I'm here for you, but then invalidate your feelings or make it about them. In friendships, you may have a narcissistic friend who pretends to care but is never really there when you need them. For example, you need emotional support and they say, I have so much going on too. I can't deal with this right now. And finally, in the workplace, this could be a boss or coworker who claims to be a team player but never actually supports others. For example, they say, we're all in this together, but then take all the credit for a group success. So I'm curious to know what your opinions are on all of this. Do you think of Meghan's behavior as inappropriate? Do you think that the middle two clips I showed you are the same moment but taken at different angles, or do you think these are separate instances of Meghan marching in front of the soldiers? And also, have you experienced something like this with a partner, a friend, a boss, or a family member? If you feel comfortable, please share your experiences in the comments. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step toward protecting your peace. I want to thank you all so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. If this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know every time I drop a new video. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.